Okay, another day, another video. Yeah, that's me, another day, another video. I'm hoping that the conversation in the room next door with at least one door closed is not going to come through, but we'll see. I might have to redo this. I'm actually trying out something a little bit new today. I've got this microphone and with a long cord off to my phone, and I'm just wondering if this makes the sound any better. So this is the stack of books I bought at the Australian Discworld convention. Nullus Anxietus 9. It's a nice little stack of books. I feel quite comfortable. Actually, no, it's not all of it, because this one, Knights of Madness, edited by the talented Peter Haining, has been in my collection for a while, and I took it deliberately to show Ben Mackenzie. Ben is one half of Pratchett, and I wanted to show him because I had just listened to some of Pratchett, and had just been talking about how Terry Pratchett reuses things in his books. And in this book, on page, I think it's page 11, yes, there it is. You've got this reference here to a cassette tape, and down here you've got a footnote, and it says the best of Queen. Sorry, the best of Queen. And why that is significant is because in Good Omens, every tape in the tape player in the car morphs into, is it tape or CD? 1990, I think, so probably CD. My brain, I cannot remember. It's either audio cassette or CD, and every time it's in the record player, in the machine, in the car, it morphs into the best of Queen. So he's just, this story in Knights of Madness, which has Hollywood Chickens by Terry Pratchett, among others. I probably should do a proper review of this book out loud. So that short story in this was written in 1990, as was Good Omens. So was Terry reusing stuff from Good Omens in Hollywood Chickens, or was it the other way around? I don't know. I will probably never find out unless I ask Neil Gaiman. I mean, I could quite easily ask Terry himself. It wouldn't get me very far because he's buried, but you know. So, things I bought. Okay, where is the book that I bought? It's a second-hand bookshop. Okay. I bought What I Do. Great. Turn that off. No, that's this one. That's better. So anyway, I cannot figure out which book I bought at the bookshop. Maybe it's in some other pile somewhere. Goodness only knows where. So, okay, let me finish some thoughts. We were 10 or 12 shops in Adelaide. The hotel was situated 10 or 12 shops from a bookshop called Imprints. And I went in there one day and I had a great time wandering around, finding that the back room is entirely used for kids' books. So that was great. And I wandered around the rest of the shop, and then I stopped at the counter and I said to the man, I'd like to buy a book. Can you recommend a book that is either local or Indigenous? And he said, I can do both, local and Indigenous. And now I can't find the book. Actually, I can, because I bought a second-hand book. I forgot it wasn't new. So, yep, this is it. The first one I picked up. So, Mason Grace by Dylan Coleman. She is the winner of the David Unipon Award, so that's pretty good. Must she be a good writer? Yes. And so I bought that and picked up a lovely bookmark which tells me, Imprints books, it tells me where I bought this book. So let me just leave that inside the book. And I also went to, it's those two. There's another bookshop called O'Connell's Books, which I want to talk about a little bit more, but only when I've verified some of my facts. Apparently they've been in Adelaide for 3 generations. So that's pretty awesome. 3 generations of book lovers, booksellers in the same place. I think they might have moved locations a little bit, but you know, they're still there. So I ended up there twice. The first, do I remember which I bought when? No, I do not. I suppose I could look at the receipts if I can find them both. No, I can't. So I bought George Orwell, Down and Out in Paris and London. This is something that was, again, I asked him for a recommendation, and this is what he recommended. I think it is, oh yes it is, it's under biography, autobiography. So that'll be an interesting read. And I also bought this cookbook, Sneaky Pie's Cookbook for Mystery Lovers, which is supposed to be favourite recipes and anecdotes from the co-author of the Mrs. Murphy Mysteries, and it's by Sneaky Pie Brown. I've never heard of any of this, but I collect cookbooks which are eclectic. So I have, I should do a video of some of my eclectic cookbooks, but I have a Addams Family cookbook, and I have a Gilligan's Island cookbook, and you know, things like that. So this one sort of looked like it almost quite fitted into the mixture, and it has, this is a human recipe, Mrs. Hogendobber's orange cinnamon buns. It makes 24, 1 package of active dry yeast. I'll just have to figure out how much yeast, because I have a tub of yeast and I just use by the teaspoon. Anyway, so that should be interesting. I do like a good bread recipe. And then there's a little bit of a thing about Mrs. Miranda Hogendobber. Hogendobber? Hogendobber? I don't know. And anyway, so you've got a fair idea. Where's the cat recipe? Sardine sandwich, which includes 1 slice of bread, 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter, and a can of sardines. I don't know. I will get to that. It looks fun. But when I went back on the second visit, I could not go past this, The Lost Boys. So it is a non-fiction. So it's biography of J.M. Barrie, the author of Peter Pan. So that should be interesting to read. And I also found The Venetian Navigators by Andrea di Roberlant. And if someone can actually pronounce that better than me, then they're doing nicely. So this is set in the 14th century, at the end of the 14th century, where you've got Niccolo and Antonio Zen journeying from Venice up to the North Atlantic, and just possibly reaching the New World 100 years before Columbus. So that's my loot from the bookshops. There were more bookshops in Adelaide, but I was just too tired to go and find them. I'm told that they were within walking distance, but it was a big journey up, and I had lots of late nights at the con and didn't sleep well, and lots more can't even say the word, lots more alcohol than I normally drink, which is not all that much. So I think I had 4 drinks over the 4 or 5 nights we were there. So, you know, huge amounts of alcohol. No, not really. So the things that I actually did buy, Sally Jane Smith. She is a friend of mine. I met her through the Discworld convention, and this is her second book. I'm looking forward to it because I believe it starts off with her time in South Africa in the anti-apartheid movement. And she was there when Nelson Mandela was released. I don't know how much she saw at the time because there were lots and lots of people there because everyone wanted to be there at that time. It's a very formative moment in South African history. And she's an incredibly talented author. I featured an article of hers on my blog some years back. And the moment I read it, I'm like, she's going to go far. I knew it instantly. She is that good. It's just she had to find time to do her first book and get the impetus. The impetus is always hard when you're doing other things and not quite certain that you can actually write. I'm finding that myself, but I've seen it with many other people. Many authors have that, and now she's on her second book, and hopefully she's writing a third book, but I don't know. That will be brilliant. And I love insight, speculative insight. Whether I can actually read them or not, I don't know. It's got essays from the first 6 months of speculative insight. So you've got authors include Cheryl Morgan, Joanne Anderton, Kimi Ashingiwa, Amelia Brown, Tansy Rayner Roberts, Octavia Cade, Liz Barr, Joyce Chung. No, Joyce, there's no vowel in there. Joyce Chung. I'm sorry for mangling your name. Celia Lake, Andrew Dana Hudson, Nina Niskanen, and Lisa L. Hannett. Nina Niskanen. Okay. Now, I do wonder if one or two of these authors have been included in something else I've read in the last few years. And I will come back to them on another occasion because the book I'm thinking about is New Sarah's Nights. Absolutely brilliant anthology. It typifies what I love in anthologies, by essentially bringing out all these excellent stories, beautifully written. And I should find it on my shelf and actually talk about it in person rather than just on my blog. So, hello, this should be interesting. The Diversity Paradox, Star Trek fandom and the limits of fandom as progressivism. Anyway, so I will attempt to read this with interest. The interest will be there. The attempt will be depending on if my brain can wrap myself around essays. It's 2 magazines I've actually stopped reading because the essays are way over my head. And it takes me 3 or 4 attempts to even finish an essay. And see, I'm not that brainy. Everyone thinks I am, but I'm not. So I will do my best with speculative insight. This has a date on it, July 2024. Oh, it's brand new. So I will read that, and if I can write something cohesive or say cohesive words about it, then I will do that. If not, then it will be, well, I have managed to read this. I think that's really all I wanted to say on this video. I'm just looking around my office. I mean, it's a total mess at this moment. But it's not entirely my fault. The fact that I have to deal with the bulk of it is totally irrelevant. But it's still not entirely my fault. I may or may not say more about that in the future because it's not my story to tell. And I do wonder at some point how much of my family story I can actually tell and how much I should just leave sleeping dogs lie. So before I can tell any of that and just talk about the mess and why it's so bad, I will have to ask permission. And I can't ask permission of someone who is now deceased. Well, I can. Technically, I can. But it's a bit hard when they're cremated and buried. I don't think they can actually come back to me with a good answer. Or, in fact, any answer. So instead, on a closing note, I'm going to show you this absolutely brilliant 3D printed version of a skull. I love this. It originally had teeth in the eyes, and I had my nephew take them out for me because that just irritated me. They were so small I couldn't see them with my distance glasses. And I didn't get up close and personal without my glasses to notice them. But look at those teeth. Aren't they amazing? 3D printed. I bought this with the idea of painting it. And I bought it a couple of years ago, and I cannot decide what colours to paint it. So if you have any thoughts which I'll put into my thinking, put them down below, make a comment, tell me what you think, how you think it should be painted. And it doesn't have to be one colour all over, it can be multicoloured, it can be like white and black and red all over or something, I don't know. The old jokes. I only have op shop jokes. Op shop jokes that have been used before. So let me know what you think. I have not given this person a name. I don't know if you can hear that. There's a little bit of filament inside, and there's no way to get it because the only entry I can see is through the eye. You can't see that. Just through the eye there. You can't see it, I'm sure. But that's where my nephew carefully removed the teeth from the eyes. There is a word for a skull with teeth in the eyes. I have been told it several times. I really do not care about it. So I have not remembered it. What's interesting is this base bit. I don't know if you can see it. In fact, I'm fairly certain you can't. But it's like a hatch pattern. Really tiny hatches. Anyway, that was just a digression. I bought that at a mini-con. What we term mini-cons, because they're generally 1 or 2 rooms and they have lots of things for people to buy, and I should actually try and do a video at one of them next time and just see how we go. I think I'm doing one, I think it's at the 25th of August in Bendigo. So BendiCon, if you want to go, I'll put a link down below for BendiCon. I'm not certain when I'm going to upload this video, but hopefully before BendiCon, so that you can actually attend if you want to. And I will not be there on my own table. I will be there helping to man the Victorian Discworld Clutch table. Yes, all these people interested in talking about books. That'll be lovely. So anyway, that's a very long video. I don't normally do 20 minutes of videos. So subscribe down below. Hit the like button if you want. And I'll talk to you another time. Bye.